Let's get all sorted. I'm James.
And I'm Jeff. Hey, James, which color do you like better? Bright bluish green, dark turquoise, or teal?
Depends what you're building. Teal?
Really, James? You like teal better? They're all the same.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, James.
It's been a while. What are you doing sitting there?
It's been, I think, way too long. Unless you've discovered us after we've released this, in which case you just started listening to this right after the last one. Thank you. We appreciate that.
There's been no space in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad to hear that. For everyone else, we're sorry.
Yeah. We'll try to make it. Let's not make any promises.
No.
But we are back.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
You were inspired recently.
I was. I came across a great article on Brick Architect. If you have not been to brickarchitect.com, go to brickarchitect.com. I love it. It's a great site. And Tom Alphin published an article about colors.
About colors. You're very excited. You texted this over to me, and I was like, "Oh, that is exciting."
Yes,
it was a beautiful article
because it's got things we love. It's got crunchy numbers.
Yeah,
and it's got Lego.
And we didn't have to crunch the numbers. That's what I loved best about it. I was like, this is phenomenal. And I didn't have to build a spreadsheet to find this data.
Let's be fair.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, Tom did a better job crunching the numbers.
Oh, absolutely.
Than we would have ever.
Like, that's how you lay that out. That was nicely done. But what is the name of it?
So the article is Hard to Find Lego Colors and What to Do About It.
We'll put a link to it in the description of the podcast. But I think essentially we just wanted to discuss this whole concept and kind of use what Tom was working on as a bit of a jumping off point.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom himself was inspired by the fact that Lego has done something they haven't done before. They unretired a color.
Unretired.
Yes. And that color is, of course, bright bluish green or dark turquoise or teal is, I think, what most people would call it. But then if you go to look for teal on Bricklink, you're like, there's no teal.
And what was the, I think as soon as you say it, everyone will know, what was the beautiful set that they had cause to call Teal? Hey, Teal? Yes. Would you like to come out of retirement? Oh, it's been some time. I don't know. Is that how Teal talks?
I feel like Teal would be more of like, hey guys.
He's just happy. Yeah. Just exuberant.
I can feel like Teal was sitting on the sidelines, and every time they designed a set, Teal was like, hey guys, look over here. I'm real cool. I can add an accent to whatever kind of building you're doing.
Look at me. Yeah, and they were like, no, we'll get back to you, Teal. We'll get back.
Oh, gee.
I'm not getting any work. Poor Teal.
But Teal has work again.
Yeah.
And we're very excited in the modular diner that came out January 1st.
And Teal's doing some heavy lifting.
Yes, it is. There's a lot of Teal. Like when they brought it back, they brought it back.
They're like, this is going to keep everybody happy for a while.
And it is keeping me happy. I love that color. As someone who grew up during the 90s.
Yeah.
And Teal was everywhere.
It's true. So I have not built this. How dense is Teal in this set?
It's there.
I mean, it's there in the front. It's kapow.
It's there, yes. It's one of those things, I can't imagine this model without it.
No.
If they did a different color, it would have just seemed off.
Well, what else are you going to use to set off the pink of the fluorescent bulbs? Teal.
Yeah.
That's the only possible choice.
I think so. I can't imagine what they would have done. So I think Teal does a lot of the heavy lifting on this model, and we're glad it's back. And by coming back, Lego has increased the number of solid colors available in the official Lego palette to 40.
Wow.
Yeah.
It seems like there's more. I always feel like I was like, that seems like a shockingly, 40 is a lot when you really think about it. And you're 40 now.
Yeah.
And that's
thanks for bringing that up, James. I really appreciate that.
Isn't that, you've joined the club.
Yeah.
It's a depressing club. We meet once in a while and just cry.
There's a lot more pills at 40. What's the deal with that?
Ow. You haven't gotten out of bed yet, Jeff. Ow. Just everything. Yeah, it's so 40 is a lot, but it's also not that much.
I mean, it's just a number, it's just age. I don't know. Oh, for the colors.
Lego.
Yes. Right, yes. It's both a lot and not a lot. And there's there's the pearlescent colors and the translucent colors. So those all add up over 40 as well. I don't know. Sometimes I look at the Lego palette and I go, it's really not a lot. And the main reason for that is I never have the part I want in the color I want.
And a lot of them do seem like shades of I mean, I guess that's what's going to happen. It's like you open up Photoshop and you look at the possible spectrum. You're like, yeah, it's all shades of a couple colors.
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware of this. There's only 3 primary colors.
What?
I don't know.
That is ridiculous. That's crazy information, Jeff.
Yeah, well, we're here to educate. So, yeah, there's 3 primary colors. Yeah. I don't remember off the top of my head what they are.
What? Okay, now you're getting a fail.
There's a red.
Yes.
There's a yellow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a primary, right?
Yeah, that's a primary.
And then the other one is obviously blue.
You got it.
Oh, nailed it in one.
Yellow and blue makes green, and blue and
what?
Red makes purple.
You can make colors?
We're getting into advanced stuff here. This is advanced color theory. Like, so, put down whatever you're holding. This is...
So, like, if you take a red brick and a blue brick and you put them together...
It's purple immediately. I don't really see why everyone has these problems. I'm not aware of this. You can create teal. It's just you got to pick the right
combination of bricks.
You put enough translucent bricks in front of it, eventually it'll look teal. It's just...
It would be amazing if you could do that.
That would be nice.
But you can't.
You cannot, no.
No. So thank you for putting this together so we can see what is out there. Hopefully friend Tom has done is take a look at all of the sets that have come out in the last 5 years and looked at the 24 most common basic bricks and plates and tiles as a way to figure out which parts are made in each color and which color gives you the most useful parts, if that makes sense.
And he provided all in that data in a beautiful pie chart.
We love pie here
it's
on the All Sorted podcast.
It's a delicious pie chart.
It really is.
Actually, I don't know. It's a pretty monochromatic pie chart. Like you go from white, gray.
Yeah.
That consumes, and then black. That's like almost 75% of the pie.
It is about half for sure. And I think that's not surprising if you look at the sets that are released every year. So let's take a look at the top 10 colors just for fun. Mm-hmm. So we have medium stone gray or light bluish gray. White comes in at number 2. Dark stone gray is number 3. Black, number 4. Then we got brick yellow, reddish brown, bright red, which is red, bright yellow, which is yellow. Sand yellow, which is dark tan, and bright blue, which is your basic Lego blue. And that's not too different than what we looked at when we did our color episode.
No.
In terms of what the most parts were made in overall.
It's not entirely surprising, but I'm surprised that you see like yellow at 7%, red at 5%, the other yellow at 4%.
Yeah.
Then dark tan 4%, blue at 3%. Like blue is definitely underrepresented here.
Mm-hmm. And I think
that was more than I thought.
The dominance of the sort of non-color colors, the shades, as you were, I think really throws the colors out of whack.
I guess. Oh, looking at the pie chart, though, I guess it's red 5, and then bright yellow is 4, and blue is 3, which is closer. And then the rest of them are really just more landscape colors. Brick yellow and sand yellow, reddish brown. Yeah, I mean, you're really bright primaries. Pretty close.
Mm-hmm. I think if it's... it would be very different if you compare sort of the first 5 years of Lego, where they were very color heavy.
That's true.
But when you're making entire castles out of yellow, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So those are the common colors, and I think the dominance of your grays and your whites and your blacks has a lot to do with how many Star Wars sets they put out a year.
Yeah. It's true.
And the size and complexity of a lot of those sets.
Part counts, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
that's skewing.
Yeah, you put out one big Star Destroyer. That's a lot of gray. That's a lot of gray that's going to be there.
It would take a few diners to make one of those.
Yes. If you're looking for a color to use as the base of your model, those are great colors. If you're looking to make things a little bit different, you could look at some of the more uncommon colors. And these make up a good chunk of what's available in that sort of non-top 10.
So the way he classified it, he basically said common colors are colors which are available in almost every common part, allowing you to build whatever you want with very few part substitutions. And uncommon is colors which are available in a lot of parts, but are missing enough parts to make them frustrating to build with. Mm-hmm. And then rare, which we'll get to later, he said colors which are available in so few parts that you can only really use them as an accent color in your models. And then you'll include a lot of asterisks and hash marks and exclamation marks as you're trying to build something. I think that's the full definition.
I think that's the part that was unspoken or untyped.
I think it was.
Yeah, we can only assume.
The intense frustration of, oh, this isn't available.
Yeah.
But it would look so good. But with the uncommon parts.
Yeah, the uncommon colors.
Sorry, not parts.
Yeah, they range from earth blue or dark blue, medium blue, light purple or bright pink, which is one of my favorite distinctions because I'm one of those people that can't tell where pink and purple separate.
Yeah.
So I like that Bricklink and Lego are also arguing about that. There's medium lilac or dark purple, bright reddish violet or magenta, bright purple, which is dark pink, sand green, aqua or light aqua, dark orange, or earth green or dark green. And some of those, like earth blue, is available in most of the parts, with the common parts, with some exceptions, but you could probably build around it. At the other end, earth green has a lot of the common elements just don't exist. Like a 2x2 plate doesn't exist in earth green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of these, like you say, some of them you can work around, and you can be like, oh, I don't have, a 2x4. Okay, I'll work around that. But then no, because it's just missing all of the little things you would want. And then, then crying.
Then the tears.
Which, it's really interesting to see a breakdown of it in those terms. And not just thinking about it as color, but thinking about it in just, every little part. I think there was a request for slopes, I think, in the comments to this. People are like, what about slopes?
Yeah, because if you're doing accents, then definitely you're not necessarily looking at your basic plates and bricks.
But in structural terms, or like just the base structure stuff, this definitely covers it. And I was surprised. There was more holes than I expected.
For sure. And I think Lego knows about these holes. And I think they enjoy putting out a set that might fill that hole, because they know they're going to get some coverage on sites like Brick Architect or New Elementary.
That's a good point.
Yes.
There's a bunch of hands in the air and cheering. They know it's going to come.
Because I know and I'm sure I'm not the only grown-up to do this, I've bought many a friend set that has never been built. But my pile of accent colors says thank you.
We have many, many built friend sets. And the colors are the best.
Yeah, I think for some people that like colors,
Elves and Friends
yes,
have such delicious colors.
It's the greatest thing they've ever done.
Like my daughter's floor right now is it's a magical city. They're not sets per se, but it's a magical city of about, I don't know, 50 plus minifigures doing various things in this entire city. And man, is it a colorful place. And it is so amazing to look at. I love it.
And there are animals.
There's animals. She got a dragon. That was her big. She just all that she wanted for Lego recently was she wanted the dragon, just because it fit a hole in her storyline. I think that she was working on. She's not super into any of them for the story that the prescribed Lego story. No, that doesn't exist. The universe involves everyone, and it's so colorful though. I love those. Anyway, whenever I hear the word friends or elves, my brain's just like, woo. Colors. I love those colors.
But there are certain colors Lego doesn't seem to love. And these are what have been defined as the rarer colors.
Why don't you love them, Lego?
Yeah, and there are a lot of basic elements not being made in these colors. So the parts that are listed as rare here, we've got medium nougat, which is medium dark flesh, olive green, lavender, sand blue, which, by the way, Lego, can you make some more stuff with sand blue? Because I just love that color.
It's a nice color.
Dark azure, bright green, cool yellow, which I kind of feel like the other yellow is like, that yellow's trying too hard.
Yeah.
With its sunglasses and backwards hat.
It's true.
Yeah.
I don't know what era is that color from.
I
don't even know. It's a weak yellow. The other yellow's like, I'll kick your butt.
Lego calls it cool yellow. Bricklink goes with bright light yellow.
I'm going with weak yellow.
Weak yellow. Dark brown, which I have a love-hate relationship with, because when I'm sorting my Lego, dark brown always wants to get in with the black Lego.
It's all about lighting.
Yeah, I need better lighting in my Lego room.
You need floodlights to see.
There's spring... Sorry, I can't even get this one. Spring yellowish green. Or yellowish green. But I like spring yellowish green.
Well, yeah. It has more feel to it.
There's light royal blue or bright light blue. There's nougat or flesh, as Bricklink calls it, which, I mean, come on, Bricklink. There are more tones in the world. for flesh.
Yeah, no, that one is a little ethnocentric.
Yeah, Crayola figured this out a while ago.
Yeah,
Can we maybe?
Exactly.
I'll call it nougat. Then there's light nougat, or guess what? Bricklink goes with light flesh.
Light flesh.
And then there's bright bluish green or dark turquoise. Now the last two, light nougat and bright bluish green, are available in very, 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 very few of the most common parts.
Yeah, it's bananas.
Yeah. Basically, any plates, it's not going to have it. And also bricks. So it could use a bit more representation, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, we're both just staring. We're both staring at a copy of the Excel sheet. That
makes for a great podcast.
Alternative name for this episode. Yeah, staring at Excel sheets. It's good. This week we're going to stare at some more Excel sheets. Everyone, pull out your sheets. Quiet now. Too noisy. Stop scrolling so hard. Yeah, I was surprised, but I mean, again, surprised and not surprised. It's just interesting to see. You almost look for a pattern in this. It's such a beautiful pile of data. If I turn it the other way, does it form something? No. What were some of the conclusions that he came to on this then?
Well, again, if you're looking at these basic pieces, it's good to know ahead of time where you're going to get frustrated. Right? Like you don't
want to be at the end of your 6,000 piece build.
Yeah. Like you might go, I really like that light yellowish green. It's nice, soft pastel color. It'll go great in my dentist office as sort of a soothing, hey everybody, let's chill out.
I was imagining a real dentist who built Lego who was thinking of something to put in his office there. That's what I was like. What dentist do you go to? Because if we go to the same local dentist, my dentist definitely doesn't have Lego.
I go to a Lego dentist and it's fun.
Wow.
Because
you have some issues with your teeth or what's that? Is it from like all the years of breaking things apart without a brick separator? You go to a Lego dentist now?
The only problem is when he wants to pull a tooth, he just uses Brasso and tries to rub it out like it would work on a minifig.
Man.
But so he's not a good dentist.
No.
Also, his hands are just like a claw shape.
He only does extractions.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he can't move his arms out from his body. They only go up or down.
That's a lot of hurt.
Yeah.
I don't like this dentist.
Yeah.
I definitely am not going to this person.
But, good rates. Yeah, so you might like to make a dentist office with your spring yellowish green, but Lego is saying, no, you're probably not going to be able to because you might want to use a brick bigger than 1x2. And we just don't have that. And even in any quantity, we really don't have it. Now, the other fun thing they looked at this is you think you could make some projections about how much individual parts would cost on the secondary market based on there being more or less of them out there in the world. Like we established at the beginning, the grays are in abundance. They make way more in the grays than most other parts. However, gray is still expensive. And part of the reason for that is people like gray. There's a lot of castle builders.
Yeah.
There's a lot of modern city builders.
Supply and demand they're in equal proportion.
Yeah. So the price goes up with it.
Yeah.
Basic economics.
Exactly. Yeah. Which makes sense. It's interesting. You don't think of that though.
And then you see the beautiful mocks out there of castles and you're like, oh, I get it. That's why my bat cave isn't completed with all the gray because
exactly
because I'm too cheap to go get more. I'll finish that bat cave one day. Now, some colors are relatively inexpensive for the volume that's out there. For example, bright yellowish green, which is lime. On average, they're 40% below the average price for the same part. And I think the reason for that is lime's a hard color to use.
Right.
Like it's going to overthrow any scene you put it in.
Yeah.
Other examples, reddish brown, or which is bright red or red, bright yellow, and bright blue are about 30% below average. So those are your basic colors for the most part. Your big three, the red, the yellow, and the blue.
And which is, there's lots of supply, but people aren't like dying to have huge chunks of them because in a way they just seem too basic Lego.
I think, that's a big chunk of it because
the language of that, it's just like, I'm not a pro builder.
It's generally adults buying Lego on the secondary market, individual pieces. And I think there's a perception that those colors will make your model childish or childlike.
It conjures the emblematic image of what Lego is for a lot of people when they see those colors. I think because it's like you said, childhood. Yeah, why would I want to build in those? I want to build in obscure colors.
That's right.
Magical colors.
But it makes me really want to see what I can build with lime and red and yellow and blue.
Exactly.
And I can't conceive of something that's not a total eyesore.
It's Castle Blue. Oh,
like,
look, I did the Game of Thrones. I did the wall in yellow. There's no good situation at all where,
Hodor really had to go pee.
I don't know, man. What else? Like, I guess I could build a really big, bright red dragon or something. Where am I gonna? A fleet of fire trucks.
So I think when you use those colors, when you show people the model, they go, "Huh, that's a lot of blue."
Yeah, you'd have to find a way, and then that becomes the problem if you want to start doing some subtleties and some shading and some, using those colors but trying to do interesting things. That's when you start running into all the problems.
Yes, other problems are the most expensive colors. Yeah. Not surprisingly, sand green is the most expensive color. It's about double the average price per piece. And that's because sand green was used in the Green Grocer model, which a lot of people would like to build. It's also a very cool color. That's sort of, I don't know if it's modern per se. It's just a nice color.
Yeah. It's not overwhelming. Mm-hmm. So that all the Lego gold miners out there, they saw this and went, ooh, how do we get that?
Yeah, but Lego being Lego, there's a chance all of a sudden sand green will be in 6 mass-produced models, and you never know. Light aqua or aqua is about 80% over the average price, and dark orange is about 55% over the average price.
What is dark? Is that like the stuff you see in the Minecraft?
Dark orange is kind of it's sort of a brownie.
More brownie than
I would say. I never look at it and think it's orange. So overall, I think this is a great, very crunchy look at sets over the last 5 years.
I think so. I think he crunched a lot of data
and produced some very good conclusions.
Yeah.
However, he based the numbers he got in terms of how many parts are made in each color on the assumption that you go out and buy one of every set made over that period of time.
Right.
But as we know, that's not how the Lego community consumes.
What?
Very few people, and if you are one of those people, I both love you and hate you, that can go out and buy one of everything. Beyond that, Lego produces the sets in very different volumes.
Right.
So while a small set might have, will definitely have less parts, right, in certain colors, they're going to produce way more of that less expensive set than they are of the direct-to-consumer sets, or like a modular building, which has a whole ton of parts in certain colors. So it's a great way to give us a baseline, and I don't think the conclusions are far off. I think even if you looked at those smaller sets and you had an accurate number of how many of each colored piece was produced each year, the top 10 colors are still going to be the top 10 colors.
Another conclusion I think he came to is this stinks when you want to build architecture. Yeah. That's a good conclusion. Is, man, some of these colors that you really want to build some beautiful buildings with, it's just like, oh, this is killing me. For sure.
And I think if you plan ahead, like all things in life, if you plan ahead, you will have a less stressful time.
I thought you were going to say you can see your failure on the horizon and you just stop before you begin.
For sure that's happened. For sure that's happened. I know I've had more than one build where I'm just playing around on my table and I'm getting somewhere and I'm like, oh, I just need this one part.
And then you stop.
It does not exist. Yeah. Can I replace it with a different type part? Maybe. Am I going to? Probably not. Yeah. Let's pull this model apart and start over again.
Definitely well worth a read to go through. It at first I was like, oh gosh, is this going to be super complicated? But it is not. He does a fantastic job of breaking down the data, giving all the details, and really, and again, nice analysis, nice conclusions, and in the end, it gives you a nice little appendix on his methodology. So even, looks at price, how he came to price data and how that might affect things in the future. And, people threw in their comments on there as well. So the whole thing is well worth taking a look at, and food for thought when you're planning out something big. Yeah, I don't know. What did it change how you're going to do things?
No, probably not.
No. No, that would involve foresight.
For sure. I have.
That takes some of the fun away from doing Lego.
And I know I'm not alone on this. I've got about a half dozen projects I'm in the middle of that are like, oh, yeah, that's right. I got to get back to that. Yeah. But I haven't.
I got to put an order in for this, and ouch.
Yeah, and the fun thing is, as more sets get released and I buy sets just for parts, it's like, ooh, that's that part I needed. I can get back to work on that.
I just need 15 more of those sets.
Yeah, so I would say I'm one of the people that needs the information in this article.
Yeah.
And I've read the article, and yet it still won't change my terrible, inefficient, laissez-faire approach to Lego building.
Well, that is our take on failure. And if you're going to succeed with this data better than us, leave a comment on the page, breakingdads.com.
For sure. And spread the news. I think it would be great if everybody who listened to this podcast, if you're listening with earbuds, take it out. Just anyone beside you, just stick your earbud in their ear so they can hear it as well.
They need to know about this. And for past episodes and other stuff, head over to breakingdads.com.
Breakingdads.com.
Breakingdads.com. And you can find Jeff over on Twitter.
I'm at Still Sorting.
All right. Until next time, I'm James.
And I'm still Jeff.